Today I'm going to show you how I use this Grow Vertical. It does come in several pieces, zip ties, screen, and a plastic backing. You will have to choose your choice of medium. Today I've chosen to use orchid mix that's already been pre-soaked overnight. As I had mentioned, it does come in several pieces, so you will have to put it together. Thankfully, the plastic backing already has pre-cut holes, so they made it very easy for you to just line it up and put the zip ties through. When you're done putting all the zip ties through the holes, you can cut off the excess zip ties. It keeps it tidy and out of the way when you start putting your collection together. This is my escalado. I've had it for several weeks now and it's fully rooted. It's actually quite root bound. As you can see, I've decided to repot this escalado because it's starting to fade in color and it's not getting enough nutrients while it's in the moss. So I figured putting it in soil and giving it a pull will benefit the plant. I would recommend checking the integrity of the moss. If the moss is too dry, you're going to have a very hard time removing it from the roots. So it's in your best interest to ensure that the moss is moist. That way you don't break any baby roots in the process of removing the moss. I do believe that prior to me repotting this escalado, I had actually gave it some water the night before. That way the moss wasn't so dry. And as you can see, the moss is coming off of the roots very nicely and there aren't any breakage of roots. I am using a chunkier aeroid mix, but I do have more moss in this mix more than usual, and that's just because I found that the plant acclimates a lot better when it's coming from moss to soil if there is more moss in the mix. What I really like about this vertical grow is that the bottom actually has a little bit of a lip. That way it can go into the soil without disturbing any of the roots. Like I had mentioned, what's unique about this pole is that you can use any type of medium that you would like. For example, I am using orchid mix soaked overnight with fertilizer, or you could use moss, soil, and if you're feeling adventurous, you can even try perlite. Because this pole has a plastic backing, it's going to keep moisture in a lot longer in comparison to your regular moss poles. I do find that they dry out quite frequently. This philodendron squamiferum is fairly root bound as well. I am going to do my best and remove the old soil, but I'm going to try my best to not disturb the root system. The moss pole that I'll be using today is from Vestra and Vines. It's actually quite easy to use and it's a no-brainer. Just re-wet the moss, stick the moss pole into the soil, and away you go. If you're not into DIYs, a pre-made moss pole is probably best for you. I actually find using a pre-made moss pole very easy. The Grow Vertical, although I think it's very innovative, I find that I'm spending way too much time putting it together and having to think ahead which medium I will be using, whereas this moss pole is already pre-made for you. The guessing is taken out of the equation. You can just go ahead and focus on repotting and positioning your plant the way you would like and attaching it to the pole. And this is the final product. This is how the escalado and the squamiferium looks once they are attached to their poles. Hopefully now this escalado will continue to thrive and give me bigger leaves.